the podcast. So we're at Flex Level Fitness and we are talking with Eric Salazar today. And Eric, tell us about your gym and what you do.
Okay, so this is Flex Level Fitness, located right here on 45 and Dixie Farm in Houston, Texas. And I am a gym owner, personal trainer. I'm a professional bodybuilder, and I do talks and lectures for corporate America and their employees on nutrition, and I get to travel and do that. And I'm also a sponsored athlete of Monster Energy drink.
Yes, and I'm having my first Monster that I've had in years, and it's Monster Energy Ultra Sunrise, 0 sugar, 0 calories. It kind of tastes like it really tastes like orange soda to me.
Yeah,
it's really good. I'm already done with it, basically. Okay, so Eric, how did you get started in all of this? Is there like a point in your life where it kind of shifted and changed? Because I think you told me before you were a dancer.
Yeah. So
let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here we go. So when I was growing up, I got into breakdancing whenever I was in 5th grade. And it was a very niche sport, just like skateboarding
or something. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Or skateboarding. So I was into breakdancing, and then I just got really into breakdancing from 5th grade until I was about maybe a junior in high school. And from there, my dad would always have these like bodybuilding magazines, and I was also into X-Men toys. So I had X-Men. I had nothing but Marvel comics and all the Marvel toys growing up. So I had all the little figurines, and so I really liked the physique. So I would see my dad working out. I would see magazines that he would have of like Arnold and all them, and then I would see my figurines, and I'm like, wow, that's really like aesthetic and very artistic. Like that looks really cool. Of course, I'm also a little kid, so I actually thought, this is going to sound real naive, but I actually thought that after you go through puberty, that's just kind of how you look.
I mean, honestly, as a young person, I feel like I thought the same thing too.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I thought I was really silly for thinking that. And then whenever I turned like maybe like 16, 17, 18, and I start looking at myself, I'm like, hey... I guess that's not how things work. So I guess I have to start working out. Is your dad built pretty big? He is, but he's like that. He's that old school kind of. I don't even know if that's the correct term to use, but he has like that old school like wrestler kind of look.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he never took it to the extreme of how like competitive bodybuilding, like very low body fat percentage or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So I'd probably say that's whenever I really started working out. I was like a hybrid. I would work out a lot, and then I would still break dance a lot, and I would work out a lot. So I was that one guy in the breakdancing crew that worked out a lot. And a lot of times when I would show up to practice, I was sore. So they're like, "Oh yeah, you worked out your chest, huh?" Or "Oh, you worked out your arms, huh?" And it was like real new. So that was whenever I was 16 years old, 17. So that's how I started getting into working out. And then I think I had gotten a little injury from breakdancing on my wrist. And I was out for about 3 months, but I still continued working out. And then that was literally it. Like I never went back to breakdancing. And then I went full-fledged working out. And then I helped a couple of my buddies lose a lot of weight. And that's whenever I knew that I wanted to be a personal trainer. Yeah. And I wanted to be a bodybuilder one day, a professional bodybuilder. And that's just how things started taking off.
Is there any advice that you would like to give our audience?
Advice. I would say as far as only because you interview so many people who are either going to be business owners or even when you say business owner, it's still like independent of themselves. So even if they're a singer, they're still a business owner of their own brand. So I would just say, or anybody who's aspiring, because I know you have a lot of listeners who are singers who are like, man, I maybe want to get into that business, and I see what you're doing, is don't be afraid of what other people are going to think, because I do feel like that's a younger person's mentality, and when you get to my age, you look back and you actually would have taken way more chances of anything that you wanted to do. So me right now as a 35-year-old, when I think about myself when I was 25, if I can go back, which in my head I'm still so super young. So so I'm glad I think like this. But even as a 25-year-old, I'm like, dude, like just do whatever the hell you want. Like it's okay, man. Like you know, whatever you have to fall back on, like it's just fine. Don't just feel like, hey, if I don't do things by the time, because I know how it was like being 25. You're like, man, if I'm 29, I haven't done this, I'm old by 29.
Right.
And like it's like you're still a baby even when you're 29 years old. So I would just say go out there and do it, even if it's small. Don't think that it has to be of scale. One thing that I have seen with so many people is as long as they're consistent, then just who cares if it's, I know how people freak out. They're like 10 years, but if you're just consistent,
it goes by fast.
It does go by fast. And when you're just growing consistently, like it'll pay off in the very end. And I would just say that goes in hand with growing yourself, just always outgrowing. So you make it to where you have no choice but to like, well, I'm too big. I have to have other resources and I have to grow and get bigger, whether it be getting a bigger spot or getting a bigger team to help support you, just things like that. I would say that, and always be educating yourself in your own craft. So I think me, you, and your sister are big podcast, YouTube people where we just like to listen and learn.
We like to learn,
So whatever your craft is, be sure that you're whether you're washing dishes, folding clothes, in the car, doing your makeup, fixing your hair, just like whatever you're doing, like always be hungry to want to just master and just learn different ways and how to do things and different people's routes of how they're doing it in your own art.
I think that's great advice. Yeah, for sure. It's just keep learning, and that whole thing. Yeah, really just don't think about what other people are going to be thinking about you. I think that's the main hurdle to get over for a lot of people. All right. Well, thanks, Eric. And all right. Well, thanks for being on the podcast. I appreciate you.
I like listening to all your interviews, and
thank
you. I'm glad that you asked me to be on here.
Yeah, it was overdue. Okay, so thanks for taking time out of your day and doing this with us. And so let's just tell the audience bye.
All right, guys. Adios. See you later. Bye.
Bye.